From the official announcement of Senator John McCain and his choice for vice president, our John Harwood, of course, broke the news this morning that Senator McCain has chosen Alaska Governor Sarah Palin as his running mate. The two are expected to speak at a campaign rally in Dayton, Ohio. We will take you live to that once it starts. But in the meantime, how will the soon-to-be official GOP ticker change the battle for the White House? Let's bring in Democratic strategist Julie Roginski, also Ben Ferguson, syndicated talk show host on Radio America, and our contributor, Paul Kudrowski. Julie, let me start with you. How does this change the ticket?
Well, it takes away the dynamic of John McCain ever saying again about Barack Obama that he's inexperienced. You have Sarah Palin, who I think until
Or it makes him young and dynamic, and now he has a female component of his own and something to say change and new about.
She's not a trophy wife. She can't make him young and dynamic. Come on. Until 3 years ago, she was the mayor of a town of 8,000 people, a part-time mayor.
2 weeks ago?
She's got no experience to speak of, and I don't really know what to say about her because she's such an unknown quantity.
Well, she's got to be good for energy policy.
Obviously, you have not read anything about her because she wasn't the mayor 2 weeks ago. I
actually have read a lot about her.
Wait. Let's be honest. She's been a governor for over a year, not 2 weeks ago. Second of all, this woman was actually involved with ethics reform in that state and resigned. She ran against a sitting Republican governor and beat him. Then she just had one of the biggest cuts you've ever seen in history with a budget line item veto to the point of over billions of dollars, on top of the fact that she eBayed the jet of the state of Alaska. She said, I'm done with this jet. I'm not going to use it. And then just to top that off, her approval rating is over 90%. So I'd say she's pretty good, better than any other governor in America.
I mean, that sounds like change, doesn't it?
She's also having closed-door sessions about, the potential new oil pipeline in Alaska after saying she was going to have open-door meetings. She's having these sessions done behind closed doors to hammer out new deals. So I don't really see that this is much of the same.
It's the same old secret
energy task force we saw from Dick Cheney. This is just another continuation, 2.0.
Let's let Paul talk for a second. Go, quick.
Go quick. All of this stuff is great and makes for wonderful political fodder, but, we're investors here, and as an investor, does she really change the picture? Because remember, McCain's
How about
weak
energy
suits.
Stocks?
Well, the energy side is great, but, McCain can say drill, drill, drill just as well as Sarah Palin can. So if you change it over and say, what does she bring to the table in terms of changing McCain's admitted weakness on the economic front? And the answer is very little. That doesn't make it bad. It just doesn't change the picture. But hold on, here's the thing is,
this woman knows more about drilling and Anwar and what can be done and what cannot be done more than any other elected official in America, hands down. She's been around it. Hold on, let me at least finish. Let me at least finish.
Let's be serious here.
If you look at her family, even her husband has worked, one, in oil. Two, she's been the only governor. She's been the only governor. No, she's been the only governor who's actually stood up to big oil in Alaskan history, practically. She got beat up like crazy when she was running for governor by big oil companies who outspent her.
So
you cannot say that she's with big oil. She's against it.
Big oil just invested tremendously in McCain's campaign after he wanted to start drilling everywhere and every time. And now he's just reinforced their faith in him by saying that he's picking yet another pro-drilling, pro-oil candidate.
A year ago, she got criticized.
Let me finish. All I'm saying to you is, if you're happy with the way big oil's been controlling the government the last 8 years, congratulations, you've got the perfect ticket to continue
This woman ran on being against big oil and won.
She can run against being against big oil all she wants. She's all about drilling.
There are bigger issues in the U.S.
big oil
economy
real
than oil,
happy.
so.
But the American voters right now, the number one issue, a new poll that just came out said the number one issue on American voters' minds right now is energy, and that's why this is
the
economy, my friend. Energy underneath it. If you look at the poll that just came out.
We can't all talk at once. We got to go one at a time here. Paul, should I buy some energy stocks today?
Sure. I mean, this is great news, obviously, for probably drilling services companies. There's no doubt that over the next 10 years there will be considerably more production of Anwar. Does it do anything for the economy today? No.
I think it's going to help the economy out. I think the American voters have the economy and energy on their minds. This woman knows how to be responsible with it. She's been criticized for not being in the back pocket of big oil, which means she's responsible. And she actually had multiple Republicans that she called out for being shady with big oil, and they had to step down and resign before she was the governor. This is good.
Julie, did the Republicans do a great job of turning the focus immediately to them?
Well, he was going to pick whoever's VP pick was going to be today was going to be the person we would all be discussing. But look,
I don't know that we'd all be yelling and fighting like this.
Unlike other people,
we're yelling
and fighting because I just wish I could get my word in here. But look, John McCain said himself that he thinks the economy is doing very well. His senior political advisor said, we're a nation of whiners, the economy is strong, and everybody's whining about it is just a bunch of whiners. Sarah Palin has virtually no record on the economy. This is another example of the McCain campaign being very Let me finish my point, being very, very disenchanted and disengaged from the reality that most Americans are facing right now.
I like the rewriting of history, but the facts are that this woman has been more physically responsible as a governor than probably any other governor in America. She cut billions of dollars line item in her first day.
One or two budgets?
And she sold the jet of the state on eBay. This woman cuts budgets. This woman cuts budgets, and she went against Republicans and won as a hardcore Republican that many want like myself.
How many budgets? The budgets of her town of 8,000 before she became mayor 2 years ago? I don't know how you say town.
She's a governor. She's not a mayor. She's a governor. Get with the reality of today.
Okay, she's had 1 or 2 budgets. That's not what her record is based on.
The first day she went to office, she vetoed the largest increase in Alaskan budget history.
Paul, you want to try and get another word in here?
My concern just is, okay, we've got these two. She's providing counsel to John McCain on what needs to happen at the Fed, at Treasury, what's going on in the economy. I'll concede really, the oil point.
Does the vice president
Where's the
really
counsel coming from? Where's the okay, fine.
Isn't that the
she's
cabinet?
one step away.
What does the vice president really do anyway?
Well, this is a good question. Say she's one step away from the presidency. Let's give her that. And now she's the one making the decision on those things. I'm not convinced we've moved the ball any further from an investor's standpoint, admittedly, in terms of the...
He did not pick somebody who's strong in the economy. That's McCain's least strong suit. He picked somebody who does nothing to add to his record on the economy.
When state governments right now, and many governors in America have some of the lowest approval ratings ever because people are dissatisfied with the economy, the fact that this woman has been able to, for over a year, since she's been elected, had an approval rating of above 85% tells me that the citizens of Alaska, including Democrats, don't just like her. They love her there, and that's why she's going to do well in this election. They love her, including Democrats in Alaska.
Well, that's a political. I mean, it's a fine political point.
She has zero tenure which to speak at this point, and good for her. She had a trajectory unlike anybody else I've ever seen.
It's amazing. She beats a Republican, the type that you don't like, and really I don't like, and now you can't even say she's done a pretty good job.
How do I know what kind of job she's done? Give her a term, and I'll tell you what kind of job she's done. She's been there for a year.
She's been serving just as long as the guy you want to be president. Got more votes than your guy.
The guy that I want to be president.
I think we're going to leave it there, guys. Thanks to all 3 of you for joining us. That was a lot of fun for me, at least. Melissa?
It was fun for me watching, too, Melissa.